Hey guys, I'm Ben Bellack, seated next to Zach Goldsmith. Welcome to another edition of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles. Today we're going to be talking about social media, and I think it's clear where most realtor social media strategies begin and end. Active, pending, and sold listing posts. And with too much of these, not only are you boring your following, you're doing worse, you're fatiguing them. So today we're going to share with you a successful social media content funnel that you can execute pretty easily to raise not only your likes, saves, and shares, but also your conversion. Social media can and should be a great source of business for you after all. And lastly, we will share some insights we've learned in the last 5 years of serious content creation and study. So with that, let's get started.
I think the first thing you need to do is to create a strategy, right?
Agreed.
And it can be multifaceted. You could have a strategy based on brand awareness, which we talk a lot about, conversion, and or education, or a combination of all of those.
Yeah, and that is what we have in my office, but we've been making content for a while now, so it's easier for us to add on as we go. And I just want to be clear, when you think about a funnel, right? Top of the funnel's the furthest away from actually converting. So we're going to talk about top of funnel first. We're going to work our way down to middle funnel, and then of course, bottom funnel as you'd expect.
Okay, so let's start with the first piece of an overall strategy. Awareness.
Yeah.
Brand awareness. We talk a lot about the following tactics can be used to create awareness of your brand. Brand awareness, and specifically the unique nature of your brand and who you specifically serve, is not only important for the consumer, but it's also important for Google and YouTube as they try and figure out where to place you. And I bet that's foreign to a lot of people. Where to place me, that's a big part of why you're posting and how you get closer to the bottom of the funnel.
I have a feeling I'm going to regret asking you this question, but when people put what question into Google or YouTube, when does Zach Goldsmith come up in the results?
I don't like to be at the top because I like to keep it a little more...
You're a bottom.
I'm a bottom.
Power bottom.
Yes. So if you click on the 5th or 6th page, you're going to find me.
But here's the thing. Everyone is so focused on their logo, the fonts. What they really need to focus on is how they place and rank in search results so the consumer can find you. So let's dig in here.
I think a lot of that used to be SEO to pump you up, and now it is the algorithm of how you post,
still same,
where that comes from, and how they push you.
Yeah, it's still same stuff. It's just the internet's saturated. Okay, let's dive in here.
Okay, so let's take the first thing you can do, which is a lesson from us, and start a podcast.
Yes, a podcast truly is a content machine. Why? The long form version of video goes on YouTube. The audio goes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Right? Then you can slice and dice it for short form, just like we do for TikTok and Instagram. You can then take the transcription, make it a blog post, which serves search engine optimization, which you were talking about. You can then link to it in your email marketing. I mean, it's certainly a content machine and a great way to keep people aware of your brand every week.
Yeah, unless you suck at speaking and don't have someone you want to sit this close to 2 hours a week, then try one of these others.
I'm great at speaking and I don't mind sitting next to you.
How about running a contest?
Oh, another good one.
You love running a contest.
Well, here's what you can do. You could be like, we're giving away courtside Lakers tickets for everyone that follows me and mentions 3 of their friends and maybe follows at Ben Bellack Group.
And what's the goal here? To capture?
Well, what happens is I already have a set of followers and subscribers, but if I make a requirement of that contest to mention their friends in exchange for a chance of winning the tickets, then become aware. And if some percentage of them are following me and maybe transact with me, it's worth it.
Right. So you're building more followers that way and you're gaining their contact information, which...
Yeah, you can. There's ways where you can push people to another web page and ask in exchange for an entry or an ebook or something. You can ask for their email address. We've done that too.
Yeah, and then adding them to your database, and that's a whole way to grow your business.
Yeah.
Okay, another good one that we like to start doing here at To Live and Buy in LA is our how-tos, right? How-tos, ideas, strategies like negotiation tips. We give our top fives. I think the theme here is value add. What I keep thinking here when I post now, that's just the one theme that stays in my head is how can I be of value?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're going to see through the funnel is we're adding value in different ways. It's just how are you going to subclassify them within these strategies, whether it's awareness, valuation, conversion, whatever it may be within the funnel. And that funnel is your overall strategy. Most real estate agents stop at tactics. A tactic would be, let's send out to a farm. Let's cold call for a little instead of having an overall strategy and then building out the activities to serve that strategy. And before we move on to the next one, I just want to say how-tos are a great way to increase saves of your posts online. The more people save, the more you will get organic reach by those platforms pushing you to other people outside your sphere. Let's go to number 2.
That's important.
Let's go to the middle funnel.
Middle funnel is evaluation. We're going to talk a lot about that today. This piece of your strategy is to help people understand or evaluate if they are going to choose you to connect with.
Or like to yeah, okay, fair enough.
Right? This is past the initial stage of posting and maybe they're engaged. Now they're going to decide if they're going to follow you.
Yeah, if you're worthy. No, I would say evaluation is they're deciding if where you fit in the marketplace and if you're worthy to consider to potentially transact with.
Right.
An example of this would be like doing a micro market report every month. We used to do this like for 7 markets for 2 years every single month. And I would not only push this to people that had come to our open houses, we had their emails, but we would also put this in the feeds of people that live in those specific zip codes.
Right. So it's education and it's value add in exchange for contact information.
No, I would just do this on YouTube. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to be in their feed and they're going, okay, this guy is the local expert. He's doing this market report. I see him every month. So like, you're watching a YouTube video, your golf video, and they're putting in an ad. I'm targeting you if you live in this market's zip code.
Right. So it's the antiquated way again are the postcards that kind of get that done.
Yeah.
Now we've taken it.
Yeah, now I'm in video
further.
and I'm targeting you.
Within this strategy is a good section to include past client testimonials to add credibility as the consumer evaluates if they want to transact with you.
Yeah, so this would be a post where like a testimonial Tuesday where it's just giving you social proof. And again, this is not necessarily about getting a follower or something like that. It's just for the people that are currently following you, you keep adding on to the credibility of your brand as they evaluate if they're going to hire you, me, or Zach.
Okay, and then lastly, let's go to the posting for an e-guide for first-time home buyers. That's something you specialize in.
No, I love this. Tyler on my team.
Well, you can trade content for the guide.
Yeah, so Tyler Hill on my team's like really mastered this. She's created like all these awesome guides. One's a home buyer guide or a seller guide, or like here's what escrow is going to look like in the first few days, the second, and then what she'll do is she'll be like, if you just message me or if you go to this website and put in your information, we'll give it to you for free. And in exchange, we get some contact info and then we move them down our sales funnel.
That adds such great credibility.
Yeah, and look, tips and tricks and hacks are a great way to add shares to your Instagram because the truth is the algorithm loves when other users share content because it gets more people to take out their phone and use the app, which enables them to charge for more advertising. But like Zach and I will be on like a golf rabbit hole and we're sharing tips, tricks, and hacks for chipping, driving, putting all the time with each other, which just makes the value of the app more. So it's always good to be having people saving and sharing your posts. Let's move on to the bottom of the funnel.
Right. So that wraps up evaluation. Let's move on to conversion.
Okay.
Now, conversion is a big one. And this, I feel like, is pretty easy. Most of us do it all the time. It's the place where we post the most already, but this section should really only be a third of what you're posting at most.
Yeah.
Agreed?
So like, so what I would say is this is the easiest to do, but it's also the easiest to do incorrectly because you want to do it 100% of the time. I think people want to do it 100% of the time, or I should say more than what they should, because a lot of people just can't get over how they look on camera, how they sound. So like, I'm just going to post active pending sold. And, you really want to be the mayor of your own beach.
There goes your brand awareness.
Yeah, you can't be a secret agent. I had an acting coach once tell me back when I was pursuing my acting career that Steven Spielberg wasn't running around knocking on doors being like, any actors in there? It's the same thing in real estate. So like when I have team members that are only posting like once a month, I really, really give it to them because Instagram Reels and TikToks are really the final frontier of free organic reach. And once the big dogs get into it, it's all going to get really expensive. I mean, they're in now a little, but free organic reach, meaning people can see you for free without you paying for placement. Man, that's my favorite kind of advertising. I love the kind that doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, moving on.
So, well, we're still here in conversion. So,
let's keep going down the conversion list.
Okay.
See if we're converting anyone as we
so
speak.
this is where we have case studies of a home we sold over asking or one we got in multiple offers for our buyer. It's the place where we post active pending solds. There's comparisons to the greater market versus your own personal success and say a market you're farming, for example, like, the average sale price in Laurel Canyon was X last year, but my average sales price, the list price was 102%, making you a uniquely better than the average.
Right. It's a great section to post about interest rates, one sheets.
This is a place where it's all about transactions. This is where we are a salesperson.
Okay, so this is really anything you can do with a call to action to sell your current list of products, really.
Yeah. Your own list or get more. This is where we are unapologetically real estate agents.
Let's give them some takeaways here. Okay, I think we should go over the top 6.
Okay, I'm down for 6.
Things we've learned the past few years of making content quite seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with number 1. What do you got for us?
I would say to make your content as niche as possible, YouTube and Google love a niche. You want to start off as niche as possible so it knows where to place you, and then it will place you in front of the audience it believes is going to respond the most. And if it does, then it will start raising your baseline of who it's pushing in all the referral engines and search results. If you do something that's too broad, no one's ever going to see it.
Right. I think that ties into number 2 is understanding the platform and the audience.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, for example, YouTube is a great place for evergreen content.
Yeah. So evergreen means like we can watch it 6 years from now and not know that it was made today.
Like how-tos, negotiations, strategies, things that will not really date themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Instagram, I think, is better for things happening right now. Right?
Yeah.
And entertainment, things like that. TikTok is similar, but it really loves a good trend.
Loves a trend. But I will say, around 2020, when TikTok was really, really gathering steam, people were getting insane views on things, and their algorithm has really cooled off. You're not getting those anymore.
I know this next one is big for you. You're a scheduler, and you believe if it's in writing, you're going to do it. If it's not in a social media calendar, it's not going to happen.
That's right. I think that if anything in life that you want to do at a high level and that's robust as well as diverse, you can't do it on the fly. You need a calendar.
And then you also, so just give a quick tutorial on what a calendar looks like, because we had Eric Simon on here from BAM, Broke Agent Media, and he talked about not necessarily following a calendar per se for him, but what was really topical, he would attack, like whatever days were coming up in the calendar year, whatever was topical that was happening now, little different than a calendar, than creating your own calendar, but he would follow that sort of trend. Do you know what I'm saying? He would follow some sort of a lead for when he would post.
Yes, because
not just arbitrarily.
No, what I would say is the piece of that episode you're referring to is like if there's a Succession finale, he's going to make like 9 realtor memes that are themed with the finale, the final episode. So part of his strategy is to be topical. So he has time and space in his calendar to allow for topical improvisation. However, they have 5, 6, 7 shows that they're running, and they build out story, blog, podcast, everything, video, YouTube release around that. And that's really what you're gonna do. And also, I just want to say while we're belaboring this topic is that it should not stress you out. Just start with easy. And then as things become automated and easier, you just add things on.
Another big one is you can't make content that is derived to get likes.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is...
You're going to be upset.
It's going to shock people.
Yeah, it's just going to break your heart. And, but you'll be shocked what content actually gathers momentum naturally. Sometimes it's the stuff you would never even guess. Plus, look, it's a long game. You got to be patient.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it as a marathon and not a race.
Mm-hmm. A marathon is a race, pal.
Marathon is a longer race.
That's true.
Not a sprint.
There you go.
That's what I was looking for.
Jesus. Can we get some coffee from my co-host today? I think he has
It's been a
smoked
long
himself.
night. What time is it?
The next
okay.
one is you got to learn how to and optimize the tools on the back end of the platforms. It's if your audience is mostly looking at your content on Wednesdays at noon, then that's when you got to post. Also, if you see that your podcast is only being listened to on average for 8 minutes, stop making 45-minute episodes and tailor it to either A, be shorter because that's people's attention span, or B, start testing new ways and new formats to maybe increase your average watch and listen time. Don't just keep throwing content into the wind.
Lastly, don't forget to get personal. I noticed that my social media game changed when I would personalize it. Some people separate a business account and a personal account. Mm-hmm. I like to combine my worlds. I don't know if you think that's right or wrong.
Love it.
I have no desire to make 2 separate accounts. I think the real estate account would be too boring. I want to create real estate porn within my personal account because that's also part of my brand awareness.
I think it's great. I've always hated moving people over from one account to the other. Why make them migrate? Why force them? The only reason I have a Ben Bellac group account on Instagram is so the team members don't feel obligated to @mention me. They can @mention the group.
I thought it was for us to make fun of you.
That too. But I have no desire to have separate business pages. I want it to all live on the personal because the personal's part of it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that information-packed episode. We're going to bring more social media tips in the future. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to reach out. Absolutely love this stuff, obsessing over it. And the truth is we're still learning as we go.
I have a lot of questions. Can I start now?
Let's start on the next social media.
Okay.
On the next social media episode. You want to take us out?
Thank you for joining us on another episode of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles. I am Zach Goldsmith. You can find me at Zach. You can find me and Tom Bellac. You can find me at Zach Goldsmith 24, and my mate here, Tom Bellac. You can find him where?
At Ben Bellac.
It'll come up if you just put it in the search engine.
Guys, thank you.
Super bien.